Chukky Okobi back with more basic instructions, mind mastery. Now, as a speaker and leadership trainer, one of the things I have this deep appreciation for is the gratitude I feel when I'm able to give back to the youth that feel a burning desire to make an impact in the world. Now, when I was a kid, sports is just something, thinking back, it was something I really loved to do. A place where I felt like not only a valuable member of this tribe, but a leader and a role model, someone that my teammates and coaches knew for certain they can always count on. It's really funny. The other day, I had a speaking engagement talking to a high school football team. Now, this school has a long and storied tradition of winning and success, but they've been having an up and down season so far this year. A number of different unexpected challenges have sent their goal of another championship season off course. They had key players nursing injuries, academic troubles, the coach is dealing with his own health issues. But if they lose one more game, a spot in the playoffs is in jeopardy, and the goal of becoming champs is all but lost. They were feeling so eager and motivated, optimistic when the season started. I just got the feeling that the obstacles that they're facing have them doubting themselves, feeling frustration and fear at the possibility of failing to meet their main objective. There's a saying that my coach, my mentor, now my coach, he's from Hawaii. I love this guy. My coach is always talking about his mentor, his uncle, I believe, in what he used to say in the native Hawaiian language, "Aohe pau ko ike ko halau," which translates to realize. Not all wisdom comes from your school. If you quiet down and open up your mind, you'll find answers and solutions in the most unexpected places. So I stood in front of this football team and I asked them if they'd ever heard of the San Francisco 49ers. They looked at me like I was crazy, laughed, and said, of course. But what was really funny is when I asked if they knew why they were called the 49ers. They weren't exactly sure, but now they're very curious. I reminded them of the history of our country, about the great gold rush of the 19th century, how there were people imagining a new empowered future with the discovery of gold in California. Now, people from all four corners of America were feeling energized and motivated to get to that Bay Area to find their fortune. Thinking back to 1849, remember, there were no trains, planes, or cars, so how did people from Georgia or Texas or Maryland get there? They just took the necessary action, did whatever it took to reach their destiny, even if that meant that they walked. What I get from connecting these dots from history is that in business, just like in sports, just like back in 1849, the lesson here is that sometimes when we're faced with a challenge, realize that the obstacle is the way. I mean, just imagine that traveling the American frontier on foot, battling the elements. People were born, people perished on these journeys, risking it all to get what they deeply desired. Traveling west, eventually they would come across the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, and picture it. They have to get over these 14,000-foot peaks to get that gold. And the men that scaled those mountains and achieved their fortune are honored for their bravery and grit by having an NFL football team named after them, the 49ers. Now, think about your career, your company. Just like those brave Americans back in 1849, you're on a journey to meet your destiny, the ultimate vision you have for your business. It's the complex equivalent of what gold meant to those 49ers. Over the last few years, you realize, business owners, we've been met with a lot of unexpected obstacles: the pandemic, inflation, supply chain issues, obstacles that perhaps had you feeling like those young athletes, uncertain about your future results. I imagine that back then, when the 49ers hit that obstacle of those Rocky Mountains, they realized that just on the other side of this obstacle you're facing is the reward that you've made all those sacrifices for. The way I see it now, hitting an obstacle may mean that I'm heading in the right direction, because if the obstacle was over there, then what's in my path right now would mean nothing. You can look at the obstacle like a mile marker, an indication that you are actually on the right path. So in this scenario, I imagine you could see how learning to master your mindset and emotions when faced with an obstacle is of the utmost importance. It's learning the basic instructions of releasing fears in the face of adversity, so that as the leader of your company and team, you can use your inherent resources, the most powerful natural force on planet Earth, your human mind. As the leader, you need the clarity and focus to effectively pivot and think of a way to get around this mountain, circumvent this obstacle, and get right back on the path towards that goal. Achieve your objective, meet your destiny, and realize the vision that you